Welcome to Selfish Confidence, a place where we can connect and be real about how hard it is to be your damn self. My name is Jess, and my goal is to help you build confidence and belief in yourself to live any life path you want, even if it's unconventional. It's time to flip off societal pressures and connect with women who've also felt on the outside by their life choices. We're here to encourage you to grab the mic and speak your truth. I know it can be scary, but we're in this together. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Selfish Confidence Podcast. It's Jess here, and I have a really fun episode for you today. I am just sitting here kind of having this moment this morning, and as I'm sitting down and writing some notes on what we're going to chat about today, I just kind of had this moment of holy crap, this is what I get to do. Get to sit down and hang out with you, and I am so grateful that you're here and that you're listening to this and that you're a part of this community, because I wouldn't be here making episode 167 of the Selfish Confidence Podcast if it wasn't for you. So I wanted to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening and for connecting and for sharing it on your stories. It really means the world. And I just have these moments where I'm just I can't believe this is what I'm doing on the daily. This is my life, and it truly is all thanks to you. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and let's dive into today's episode. So today we're talking all about B- effort, your B- effort. And if you were watching my stories the other day, I was talking about how I had all these chores I had to do. It was Monday. I had all these things that I had to do, and I was just oh, I do not want to do these. I don't have the energy for this. I don't want to be here. But I have to. I have to do something since we had no groceries in the house. What was the B- effort that I could put into that situation in order to get some things done, but it just be enough? It didn't have to be this crazy amount of things I had to do or perfectly picked out things. It just had to be a B- effort. And when I said that on my story, someone reached out to me and they said, what are you talking about? My brain does not understand what a B- effort is. Can you make a podcast episode on this? And I was I got you. I can totally do that. And I actually get why your brain kind of wouldn't be able to compute a B- effort. Because if you're a perfectionist, the only option is A+. That is the only option you see. And if it's not an A+, then you failed. But that's not the truth. That's not the truth in life. It's actually still not the truth in school, even though you told yourself it was. But when I first learned about this B- effort, because I am a recovering perfectionist too, I see you, sis. I am right there with you. But when I heard about this B- effort that we can put on things, it was actually on a coaching call with one of my coaches, Emily King, and she mentioned this idea, this concept of giving something a B- effort. And I was just oh, right. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be 100% because perfection is actually the thing that's holding us back from action. And B- is a pass. B- is enough. It's enough to get by, and it's enough to take that next action step. Earlier in the week, when I was talking to you on my stories, it was enough to get me through those chores that I had to do. The ones that were non-negotiable, crap, I really have to get these things done. But I could do it in a way that wasn't perfect. And what I mean by that was just having a really simple list. What were the things that I desperately needed that I had to get done? And what were some of the things that could wait? My to-do list didn't have to be perfect. It didn't have to be super long in order for me to be worthy, in order for me to be productive. It needed to be simple enough for me to give it a B- effort. So I put the essentials on that list. What did I need? Okay, I needed something for dinner. I needed to pick up some fruits and veggies. I needed a few things from the store. I needed to get some eye drops. What were the things that I needed right now? And what were some of the things that could wait? I know future me is going to be Jess, why didn't you just get all those things at once? But you know what? In the time with the energy that I had on Monday after traveling on the weekend, I had enough energy to give B- in this moment. I had enough to just get by. And so I did the things that were important. I ran out and I got, some food for the week. I did grocery pickup. So I had to go to the store and get some things. So there's a couple different stores. You know what I mean when you have to go to different stores for different things. but I put a grocery order in. So grocery pickup for the things that I knew I could get at one certain store. And so that took some time off my list because somebody else was going to do my grocery shopping for me. And that was freaking amazing, which helped me to use the energy that I did have to do some of my other chores, like some of these other stores that I really didn't want to go to, but I knew I had to. So I went out and I prioritized what was important, what was on my list that I had to get, what were the stores that I had to go to today, and what could wait? What could wait a couple days? What could wait till I had more energy? What is really on my list that's like, it's there, but do I really need that? We all put something on our list that we don't actually need. I know you do. I want to know what it is. Tell me what it is. But by doing this, taking things off my list, prioritizing my energy, putting some things for grocery pickup, picking up what I have to get, and really only doing what was necessary, I was able to have the energy to not only do my self-care, not only do what was important to me that day, but also to do the things that I had to do, the things that kind of were non-negotiable in our house, right? Like getting groceries because we had to eat. Giving a B- effort helped me to take action on the things that I would have put off otherwise, but also to do it in a way with the energy that I had. You know, sometimes when we see that, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, the pie chart of your energy, but also just like the percentage of the energy that you have. If you only have 30% in you today and you give it all you got, you gave 100%. It's the same thing with this B- effort. If you only have enough for a B- effort in you today, it means you gave yourself 100%. And I think when we start to see this more and we start to take action based on the energy that we have left in our body, not based on what society is telling us is enough, is the piece that's going to help us start to feel fulfilled in our life, start to help us to feel like we're actually doing enough and that we are enough, even if it doesn't look the same as what your neighbor is doing or your partner is doing or what your kids can do. Other people have more energy on different days. We can't be an A+ all the time. Like that is just impossible. We can't do it. And maybe you did it in school. Good for you. I'm so glad. But what did you sacrifice in order to get that A+ all the time? Did you sacrifice going out with your friends? Did you sacrifice taking that nap that you really needed? Did you sacrifice, insert something that you put on the back burner in order for you to get those A+? Because again, like that pie chart we talked about a few weeks ago, you cannot give 100% in every area of our life. We only have so many spots and so much energy. So if you're giving A+ in insert the area that you're doing that in right now, where are you giving a B- effort? We cannot give A+ in every single section. I actually remember having this conversation with a friend a few weeks ago about just like crafts that we were working on. I'm not crafty, and I'm going to be real with you. Everything I create doesn't look great. But that's because I also don't put a lot of effort and a lot of practice into it. I just do it sometimes to do something with my hands and to have something fun. But this person who I was chatting with was a crafty person, and they really enjoyed creating things that looked nice. And I asked her, would you still make something even if you knew it was going to be ugly? Because for me, I'll sit there and I'll make the ugliest thing. It's just a matter of having colors on my page and moving my hands and not being on a screen. But she really struggled with that concept of doing something even though you knew it was going to come out bad or ugly or honestly a B- effort in your art or in your crafts. And maybe you hear that story and you relate so much because for you, a B- effort is a fail. A B- is a fail. Why would you actively show up to fail in your life? But it's not about failure. And I really challenge you to shift that mindset because I see you, I know you're a perfectionist, and that one's a really hard thing to shake. So I'm going to share with you a couple ways that you can start to shake that perfectionism, that A+ effort in everything, that everything having to be perfect, everything having to be top notch, all my energy all the time is going to this. And if you're listening to this, it's like, I hear that and I'm like, I'm already exhausted just thinking about putting that much energy into everything. And I know it took me a long time to untrain my brain to be a little slower with it and accept sometimes having to do B-. Don't get me wrong. There are times that I do A+ on some things, right? But there's also times where I don't have all that energy. So when I do have A+ energy, awesome. I'm going to get things done in a really awesome way. I'm going to do things to that effort that I have. And I'm going to also prioritize things to be, what do I want to use this A+ energy for? And what am I going to save some things to only do B- on? Right? For me, an A+ would want to be on the podcast, would want to be on my website, would want to be in my client sessions. I would take a B- effort on freaking grocery shopping. Who wants to waste their A+ energy on their groceries? Not me. I want to use it for moments when I get to sit down and hang out with you and talk to you about things. I also am going to save my B- effort for my crafts because that's just not my strong suit. And I'm okay with that. So if you're struggling with this concept, I challenge you to look at your priority list. Where can you give a B- effort, and where are you going to save your energy for that A+? What is most important to you? Maybe you're listening to this and actually you're like, maybe my A+ effort is with my kids. And it's spending time with them and being present in that moment and really enjoying that quality time with them, helping them with crafts or helping them with their lunch or activities or whatever it is that you want to put that energy into with your kids. Or maybe it's a season, right? The season right now is you want to give an A+ energy to your marathon training. You're going to have a race coming up and you're just like, I want to spend my time focused on that. Or maybe it's an A+ season in your business, right? But it doesn't have to be that way all the time. Just because you prioritize something right now as an A+ doesn't mean it's where you have to have that A+ and that B-, even F sometimes in all areas of your life. Again, if we think of that pie chart from a few weeks ago, it can't be 100% in all areas. So what can you sacrifice right now? What can you put on the back burner in order for you to be able to have energy for the things that are most important to you? And a big piece of the puzzle when it comes to this B- effort, when it comes to things, and I think why this challenges my perfectionist so much, is also because society tells us that we're worthy based on how much we do, based on how much we produce, based on the effort that we put onto things. And maybe you come from a family who only valued A's on your report card. And that can be really hard. Your whole life you've been told that your worth is based on a grade or your worth is based on an effort. And that is not the case. I want to remind you that you are doing enough exactly as you are right now. Even if you give a B- effort today, even if you are giving an F effort today, you're doing enough, and that's okay. If you're honoring your body and honoring what energy you have and doing what feels best for you, you are doing enough. I am so proud of you for how you're showing up and what you're doing. It doesn't have to be an A today, even if that's the only merit your family gave you for years, right? All of school, they only told you you were valuable if you got an A. And I just want to remind you that it's okay to give a B- effort. Perfection is not the answer. And it's actually going to be better for you because perfection holds us back. That A can sometimes hold us back from actually doing something, right? We want these things in our life. We want to do big things. But if it's not going to be perfect, I'm not going to do it. How many things have you not done in your life because you couldn't do it perfectly? Is there a website that you wanted to create for your business, but you knew it wasn't going to be that great because you had to do it yourself and you're not a web designer? So it's not going to be perfect. So you just decided not to do it. Or maybe same, you've been wanting to do a podcast for a really long time, but it's not going to be perfect because you don't really know what you're doing. So you're just not going to do it. Or maybe you want to get back into the gym. It's been a really long time since you've moved your body in a way that felt really good. But you know, it's been a long time, so you're not going to be perfect and people are probably going to judge you and it's going to be really uncomfortable to walk into the gym again. So you'd rather not go at all. If you were to give a B- effort in any of those areas we just talked about, you would be so much further in your life and where you want to be than not taking action at all. That's why that progress over perfection is such an important analogy. And some people I know hate it because people want to be perfect. I get it. But you're making progress, you're taking steps. And especially if you're a beginner at something, you're gonna suck. You can't be perfect at the start. And if you are, like Prodigy, kudos to you for not having to put any effort. But for the rest of the world, we have to put effort in order to get good at things. It takes time. It takes, trial and error to get into that place that feels good and to feel that groove. And even after you've been working on it and putting your effort in for a while, it's still not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Perfect is a lie, and we know that. It's something the world has told us to strive for, especially as women, but it's something unattainable. We can never get there. There is no such thing as perfect. So let this sink in for a second. You're letting the myth of perfection hold you back from everything in your life, from even trying on things in your life. What if you were to give it a B- effort? What if you were to lean into it not being perfect, but you're making a step in the direction of the dream that you have, a step in the direction of what you want or the person you want to become? How good would it feel to take some action for once and to not just keep wishing and wanting things to be different, wanting things to be perfect? If I waited until things were perfect, or I only recorded episodes when it was perfect, or I only released episodes that were perfect, there would be 0 episodes released of the Selfish Confidence podcast. There would be 0. You would not be here listening to this because I would have let perfection get in the way. So what are you letting perfection and that A+ effort get in the way of the life you want? And I even feel emotional as I say that because I'm just like, there are so many areas in my life that I let perfection stop me from doing things that I wanted, or stop me from doing things that I'm called to. Saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, I could never do that. But if it's meant for you, if it's in your heart and in your gut and you're just like, oh, I want to do that thing, but I could never. It's there for a reason, and I really want you to lean into that. You're depriving the world of your beauty and of your work and of your effort, even if it's B-. And remember, again, I would not be sitting here, even right now, this episode. I could nitpick on things. I could think about, oh, well, I should have done that and I should have done this, and maybe I should get a professional to do that, and I'm not good enough. If that was the case, it wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be an episode. It cannot be an A+ episode all the time. And that goes for all areas of your life. So stop beating yourself up today for giving a B- or only having a B- in you, and start leaning into B- being enough, B- being great, B- meaning action. I'm so proud of myself for taking action today. I'm so proud of myself for giving a B-. It's enough, and I'm enough. And the sooner you lean into that, the sooner your confidence is going to grow, and you're going to start to be okay with a B- effort. It's going to be very awkward at first, I promise. It gets better. And as it does, your confidence will grow because your worthiness is not going to be attached to that A+ anymore. Your worthiness is not going to be attached to your effort. You're worthy exactly as you are, no matter what effort you put in. And the sooner you learn that, the more confident you're going to feel and the more free you're going to feel in this world. Society does not have a hold on us. We do things differently here. And I'm so freaking proud of you for that. Have an awesome week. What's up, sis? I am so glad we could hang out today. If you love this episode, send it to a friend or share it on your social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me sprinkle some confidence in the world. And don't forget, you are magic. Let's show the world your shine.